have to hear. Drink a good deal of it, make a good meal of it, stick to your old-fashioned beer. Now don't be afraid of it, drink till you're made of it. Now all together a cheer.
Hello everybody, once again it is time for another One Take Beer Review with Mark McDermott, that's me, and I'm doing something a little different this time around. As you can probably tell from my rather darker than normal green shirt and the sticker on my shirt that it is actually March 20th. It's primary election day, not St. Patrick's Day. Well, just too much stuff kept happening and I couldn't get caught up on anything, but, well, a YouTube video is just going to stay there forever and ever until someone finally decides to take it down. So this will be handy for you for next St. Patrick's Day. What is more Irish on St. Patrick's Day than Guinness? Well, soda bread or corned beef or, well, anyway. But luckily for us, almost all the Guinness beers that we get nowadays are made in Ireland. It has been for many years the rule that it gets made very locally. I think actually the Guinness Foreign Stout is. I thought what we'd do is take the three main beers that have the Guinness name on them and just put them all together. Of course, it's not really a direct comparison, but what the heck. I've wanted to try a Guinness regular draft next to a Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. This is the Guinness Black Lager. It was just introduced a year ago. It is 4.5% alcohol. It is a black lager style beer, so it's not really like the Guinness Stout we all know and love. This is the Guinness Draught. It comes in the usual can. It's the only one of these products that still has the widget that pumps a little nitrogen into the beer. So as you can see with the the black lager, we get this thick bubbly pour, while with the Guinness Draught we get that nice Guinness pub pour. Wonderful device, the widget. And the Guinness Foreign Extra, which has been made for some time. It has only relatively recently been on the store shelves here in the States on a regular basis. Now, the Guinness Lager is 4.5%. The Guinness Draught is 4.1% alcohol by volume, making it the perfect session beer almost anywhere in the world, so they say. And the Guinness Foreign Extra, well, they describe on the back adding a little extra hops and alcohol to survive the trip overseas, just like India Pale Ales, and this clocks in at 7.5%, so that is pretty much an imperial stout at that range. And even without the widget, that I thought those had widgets in them. We'll shake it around when we get done here. Nope, no widget. So that kicks up a bigger head than, again, the regular Guinness Draught. Here's to the Guinness Black Lager. It was meant to compete more with regular pale yellow beers. Its color is still black, but it was meant to have a milder roast flavor. And that's what I'm getting, mostly. Black lager. Also known as Schwarzbier from the Germans. There's not as much smell to the nose that comes to mind right away. To taste, though, it does. It does have just a little bit of roast malt to it. Otherwise, it goes down almost like a Dortmunder lager, just with a little bit of what they call Cinnabar, which is the black coloring that was used in some parts of Germany to make black lagers. So this doesn't have the bitter roasty quality of a Guinness Draught at all. And here's your Guinness Draught. It still has a very nice creamy little head on it. And what I've noticed about these cans only now is that they are not a full pint. This is 14.9 ounces. So we're about an ounce short. But it's just so nice to get a nice little pour like that at home. A somewhat mild, yet there is a roasty taste to it. And the way they say Guinness is made is that before it's packaged, it's blended with what they call staled Guinness, which is some beer that has been left to sit around for a while, and it actually imparts a slightly sour taste. And right now that is actually shipped around the world from the Guinness place in Dublin in the form of essence of Guinness, so it's concentrated, but it's what sets the style apart. You can taste a little bit of a very slight tinge of sourness in this and in other dry styles that are made in the Guinness style, which I tend to like that style very much if I want a nice session beer. And the foreign Extra Stout, which is the one of these that I have not had before. So that leaves a very sponge cake-like head of bubbles. There is a little more syrupy smell, a little bit of treacle to it, and but again, the hops are not as bitterly roasty as in some other stouts. So when I think of higher alcohol stouts, I might think in the realm of imperial stouts, which this really isn't. It's just a little bit thick and even syrupy, but not as much as, say, a Rasputin or a Dark Lord. It almost reminds me of the way Guinness used to taste when I first tried beer, before they had the widgets and bottles, and it sat on a shelf for months, maybe even years, before someone dared to pick it up. Kind of tasted like dirty motor oil. Well, this doesn't taste as bad as that. It's actually very nicely done. It's you can't get as much of an alcohol buzz either. But there's actually a little more of that sourness that I talk about. And it doesn't, as I said, no real alcohol buzz. So this is your sessionable ale. This is what you're having when you have people who say, I don't like beer that's too dark and bitter. And this is what you have when you want something that's dark. It is a little bitter, some notes of chocolate, and a little bit of extra texture to it. So that is in less than 8 minutes, because that's all that this little camera will do at one take. Guinness Black Lager, the regular Guinness Draught, the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. Don't miss out on your chance to pick up any or all of these for the upcoming St. Patrick's Day, because we're going to pretend it's almost St. Patrick's Day when you finally get around to watching that. And cheers.
Now don't be afraid of it. Drink till you're made of it. Now all together a cheer.
I'm going to try to finish these tonight because it's been a long, hot day for the first day of spring.